Hey everybody, welcome to the squat series. We're going to teach you how to master the squat for your body, completely eliminate pain, and maximize muscle building. My amazing assistant, Big Red, otherwise known as Will, is going to help us with this. So the first thing I want you to know, and this is maybe the most important thing that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, is active range of motion. What is active range of motion? Why does it matter? And how are you going to prevent yourself from getting hurt ultimately? So many people get hip pain, knee pain, back pain when they're squatting, and it's exclusively, in my opinion, because you're not obeying the law of active range of motion. So if we get Will to demonstrate active range of motion, here's what we'll look at. Well, they're gonna have you demonstrate what it looks like to do active range in your left side first, then your right side second. Just go up and go up. So Will's got about a little bit less than 90 degrees of hip flexion on that right side. So if we do an active range of motion, see how high we can get. Try the other side now, Will. So you can imagine that's approximately what a squat position would look like at the bottom. So if you notice that side's going up a little higher, come back to this side. So a little less range on that side. How is that going to manifest in the squat? Well, it's going to happen where it comes down to the bottom, one side's going to stop, the other side's going to keep going, so it's going to look like this dumping to one side. That's going to cause back pain. Many people will say, oh, just go all the way to the bottom of the squat. Well, if you do, you can expect it to dump to one side or to round into his lower back. So we'll grab my shoulders so you can hold on, face that way a little bit. Good, pull that leg up. So if he goes anywhere past there in the squat, what happens? All the motion then happens at his lower back. That's going to cause massive amounts of discomfort for you, short-term and long-term. You can get away with it for a short period of time, but eventually you're going to pay the price. So what we're going to do is we're going to suggest you stay within that active range. So just literally assess it, and I suggest you assess it certainly before the workout and ultimately before every set. Bring that leg up, see where you can go to. That's as far as I can go. I'm consciously, actively contracting my hip flexor, so I know how far I should pull up. If I can go a little further, I will. And watch this. If I push into it just a little bit, like a 3 out of 10, I push in, I let it go. Oh, so I've activated the muscle on the front of my leg, and now I've got a little more range. So we'll show me what that looks like to activate your left leg. Push a little bit. So it's a very specific contraction. It's not a hard contraction. And let it go and see if we can go a little further. Try again. Go. So we're just trying to go one more time. Good, good. So now he's got almost past 90 degrees there just by activating that hip. That's very, very important. Now there's one more thing that I want you guys to acknowledge when it comes to active range of motion. It doesn't always have to be in this plane of movement. So when I'm squatting, it doesn't have to be here. We can also do this. So watch my range here compared to this. So if I move out a little bit and I take a wider stance that would kind of emulate that position, that can be a much greater range of motion allowed at my hip and a much more comfortable position for a squat. So rather than just thinking that a narrow stance is going to work one thing and a wide stance is going to work something else, which by the way is absolute complete nonsense, you're going to focus on going, what do I have available to me at my hip? What foot position should I take to maximize the range of motion at my hip? Start there. That's going to allow you to get the greatest range of motion possible and go only as far down as you can. So Will, show me what a squat looks like just within your active range. Face that way. Good, yep. So Will's coming down to the bottom of the squat and he's very actively trying to contract his hip flexors. So you guys can see his spine right there is really neutral. He's not all that far down. We'll go all the way to the bottom. Look where the range happens. It's all right here. So that's where he can go there, but it's going to be a bunch of extra stress in his spine and nothing else on his legs. So come back up into your active range. Good. That's where he's going to go. So at this position, he's actively trying to pull down with his hip flexors, contracting, trying to contract with his hamstring, so he's getting the maximum range of the knee, the maximum range of the hip without dumping into that posterior pelvic tilt and taking the strain off his glutes and quads and putting it into his lower back. So there's a few basic starting tips for you guys to understand mastering your squat. Please do this every day. Don't just do it once, do it every day, just at home. Feel it. So for some of you, feeling your hip flexors is going to be very, very challenging. Practice every day. I'm going to be back here next week with another video for you on how to then take it to the next level.